Hey, it's Between the Pipes. We're on social media. Thanks for joining me on this Sunday afternoon. I'm going to do my best here to take us right up to 2:25 Mountain Time proper for a kickoff between the Broncos and the Cowboys. Can the Broncos get a point today? Do you get a point for going to overtime? Cowboys had a tie earlier this season. It's the only tie in the NFL this season when they hosted the Green Bay Packers. And Michael Parson, his name is Michael Parson. Oh boy. Look, hey, I said yesterday, get a point. Can you get a point and not go over on this 2-game East Coast swing? And they did that. And they played pretty well for having played 22 hours ago, especially in that second period, back half of that second period. They were excellent. The Avalanche played very well in the back half of that second period. And then kind of this fluke breakaway goal off of a Josh Manson shot or something like that. Breakaway the other way. And Connor Brown, one of the more generic names on earth, Connor Brown scored his 5th goal of the season. And then the Devils went into defense mode. They were just really trying to make it tough on the Avs to get zone entries in that third period. But you know who had a good game? And I said yesterday, one of these 3 players, actually I said 2 of these 3, we'll grade him here, had to have a good game. Brock Nelson, Gabe Landeskog, Devon Taves. Brock Nelson had a good game. This was his best game of the season. Obviously, he gets the game-tying goal in the third period. You know, really good play by him to forecheck the Sam Malinsky dump in, feed Ross Colton down low. Ross does a great job being patient behind the net. I think Ross has played well all season long. Nelson cuts net front. Colton finds him after his patience. Brock Nelson scores. Brock also had this kind of like toe drag zone entry through Jack Hughes earlier in the game. So it wasn't like there were multiple moments. Like this was probably Brock Nelson's best game of the season. So that's good to see that the curse of the 2C is potentially being lifted here. Brock played well. I thought Gabe Landeskog played better today. Laid a couple hits. You could tell that Gabe was on a mission early to set a tone. Laid a hit on Jack Hughes by the benches. I wonder if that was predetermined by Gabe, and especially it being Jack Hughes. I don't know if it necessarily mattered which player, but that's the one, you know, if you're Gabe, if you're the captain, and you know you're coming off of a relatively, like it was an okay performance in Boston. You're playing 22 hours later. You got to spark. You got to spark your team. You're the captain. You're a physical dude. And this dude right behind me, he's one of the more physical dudes on this team. He's not afraid. You saw him in the preseason. I even asked him about this at the Avs charity golf tournament. Like, Gabe, are you going to bring some of that nasty back to this team? And he didn't shy away from it. And he gave himself a little tune-up in the preseason, and he laid a big hit on Jack Hughes. I don't think it mattered who, but I think when he saw Hughes by the benches, he was like, here we go. This is it. This is what I wanted. Laid a big hit on Luke Hughes late in the game. He got both Hughes brothers. Now, the Luke Hughes hit, Luke kind of spins an opposite direction that Landeskog wasn't expecting. Looked a little boarding-esque, but, I mean, when you're committing to the hit, and Luke Hughes spins backwards in a way you're not anticipating, that, I don't know, man. I think it's a good no call. I think it was a good no call. Thought Landeskog had more moments, was way more noticeable in this game. And they put Landeskog really, by and large, on the third line tonight. I had mentioned the possibility of Jared Bednar changing the lines. I didn't know what he would do, if he would do anything at all. I didn't quite anticipate this one. I like this move. This move actually made a ton of sense. to put Gabe Landeskog on the third line, given that he played just over 13 minutes in the last game and they're clearly managing his minutes. You know what? Right now, the way Gabe Landeskog is playing, it's kind of a third line player. But there's nothing wrong with that. The Avs third line has been very good, and it gets good minutes. It gets solid minutes. And what I tweeted this out when they made this, it was clear that this was the move early in the game. The way that Val Nichushkin is playing, and he had another good game. He scored on a rebound on a Cale Makar shot. 3 shots on goal for Val. He was a +1. He played well again. The way that Val is playing, Val is carrying that second line. It doesn't matter who's on that line. Val's carrying that line. So you can put Olofsson up on that second line, and I'm fine with that because Val is the best player on that line. He's playing great right now. Val's so underrated. You know I love that guy. And Nelson had his best game. So it kind of worked. And I thought with Landeskog down on the third line, it fit. I like Landeskog with Jack Drury and Ross Colton. And I do want to take this moment. I've been meaning to mention, I think the most unheralded Avalanche player this season has been Jack Drury. He has played so well. Obviously, you can start with the face-off numbers. I mean, they trust him and then some. And he goes 8 of 11 tonight. Wins 8, loses 3. He is money. He is nails at the face-off circle. You talk about the Mikko Rantanen trade. I thought Nature's played well tonight. Nature's played well all season. Nature's going to get his money. I think it's just a matter of time at this point. We'll talk about overtime here in a second where Nate just didn't have a great pass. Jack Drury, and it's not just the face-offs. He's everywhere. He forechecks his ass off. He's involved. He's always noticeable. And Ben, you're right. Ross Colton's been great too. But I wanted to specifically shout out Jack Drury because, look, Ross Colton had the great start to last season. And, anyone who's been listening to the show and anyone who follows the league over the past several years knows Ross Colton was a very good player, underrated player with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And when the Avs acquired him, I thought it was a great move. And Ross has been great. Yes, he breaks his foot. First, a few months into last season, wasn't quite the same player. He's back now. He's back. Ross is playing great. Jack Drury, that's exactly what my concerns with the bottom 6. I had concerns, and one of the possible theories that could quell that is could Jack Drury step up and be a true 3C? He's done that. He's been great. He's been great, and I think Landeskog with them. Love that line. Landeskog, Drury, Colton, that's a fun line. Especially as you're managing Landeskog's minutes. I think that's a great threesome right there. We love threesomes, don't we? That's a great threesome. Okay. I guess I'll talk about overtime now. 0-4. After regulation this season. 0-4. And it did look early in that overtime like Devon Taves got hooked by Timo Meier. Now they show a replay later in overtime, I think as this game ends. And Mosier, Rycroft, who are the best? They say maybe it looked like Taves' toe picked. I don't know. I couldn't really tell. And there was a million things going on. Real time, it looked like my dude got hooked. When I said it, it was the last overtime, the Carolina game, when Natchez hooked whoever it was on the Hurricanes. I see that Natchez hook real time, and I'm like, yep, that's a hook. I see that Timo Meier hook on Devon Taves real time, and I'm like, yep, that's a hook. Where's that call? I don't care if you toe pick. Real time. Blow that whistle. Call that. Okay, Devon Taves was the third player that I said needed to have a good game. Thought he played well. He's very noticeable. He still doesn't have a point on the season. No, he got his first point. He got an assist. Hell yeah, Devon Taves. He assisted on the Nathan McKinnon goal. Okay, so he had the shot from the point. Nathan McKinnon net front. Man, the Avs, that's one thing about that top line is, Lehkonen is your best net front guy, but you know what I've been saying about him. He's like 5'10". They are kind of, man, it would be great if Landeskog's knee was ready to go and you could just put him on that top line, net front. How about Nathan McKinnon, net front? Kind of tips a puck. It gets through Jake Allen's legs, and McKinnon sees it, stuffs it in. Nathan McKinnon, net front. That's his bread and butter. That's what he does. But yeah, the Avs in overtime. I don't know. They're just not. This team sucks in overtime. This team sucks at the shootout. They're 0-2 in overtime. They're 0-2 in the shootouts. It hasn't been great in either one of those facets. Like it's not like it's like, oh man, it's great, but it's just not clicking. It's not great. It's not good. It's weird. The great news, of course, is that, when the playoffs come around, there's no 3-on-3 overtime. There's no shootout. I do wonder, though, you're 0-4 now after regulation. What if that's the difference between the 1 and the 2 seed? What if that's the difference between playing Anaheim, as I predicted, it could be the 8th seed, and maybe they will be. They're off to a decent start, but a team of that ilk. Now, if you're the 2 seed, you're getting home ice, but you're playing Dallas maybe. Unless Dallas stays in the wild card. They did get a win last night. And I said, that Dallas is they're going to get it right. I know Utah is leading this division right now, and they're leading the West. But come on, Colorado and Dallas are the 2 best teams in this division. Probably the 2 best teams in the West. Vegas and Edmonton are right there. Is that going to be the difference? Is after regulation going to be the difference in not getting the 1 seed? Maybe. That would suck. I know this team's not built for whatever reason, and it's crazy because of all the talent. Speaking of all the talent, 0-2 on the power play tonight. So I counted it up midway through the game. I think they're one of their last 24. They're one of their last 24 on the power play. Holy shit. I'll say this, I thought it was better. I thought their 2 tonight was better. I still don't like the setup, but if this is the setup they're going to dig their heels in on, then at least they're starting to learn it. It looked better. I still want a better net front presence than Natchez. I want Lehkonen out there. But for what they've been doing, it did seem like, even though they went 0-2, that it did start to feel a little smoother. And it's a brand new setup. So here we are, 10 games in now. Took them 10 games for me to at least think, okay, they're starting to learn this new system. They're starting to get accustomed to it. It looked better. But let's see, 1 out of their last 24, calculator opened, 4.16%. Is that good? 4.16%. Oh my God. You get if you can score on one of those 2 power plays, and yes, Ben, I see in the chat, one of them was only 1 minute long. It was after a 4-on-4 where I think it was when Makar got high sticked on the penalty kill. Can you bleed, Kale? Can you bleed? Let's look at the overall NHL power play numbers. This is getting ridiculous. This power play has Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar. And one of my favorite players, mercifully now on it, in Valeri Nichushkin. Power play percentage. Scroll down. 30th. It's not updated either. But I think that, and Raj did point out, Carolina's, it's a not so nice 6.9%. Same with the Nashville Predators at 6.9%. Those are your 2 worst in the league. Colorado came in tonight at 10.8%. That's going to dip just a little bit because this is not updated with tonight's overtime loss on NHL.com. So it came into tonight at 10.8%. It'll dip lower. 4.16% on their last 24. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you got to get power play goals. I am always a believer that games are won 5-on-5, but you leave shit on the board when you can't score at all on the power play. Avs fan asks, "Where is Raj?" So he's going to the Broncos game today with his wife. He won Broncos tickets at some charity thing recently, and they were contemplating selling the tickets because these tickets are going for a lot. Like there's this dude I'm playing tennis with. He just bought upper bowl tickets to today's game for like over $400. Damn. Broncos better win. So they're wearing um their awesome throwbacks. Now we saw how that went for the Avs earlier this week. They got a point in the Nordiques jerseys that look so good. These Broncos, the old orange and blue D's are so good. So good. It's gonna be a hell. Hopefully, they can get this win today. I said on the Blitz on Friday. Um, I think the difference in this game is the defenses. I think defense wins championship. Well, maybe not, but defense is hugely important. And that Cowboys defense is not very good. No Trayvon Diggs. Overshown's not activated off IR. Micah Parsons is playing tonight. I think the Broncos defense is the difference in this game. And hopefully this Broncos offense can move the ball against this weak Cowboys defense. I think they can. That would turn this day around a little bit. But they get a point. The Avs get a point. And that's good. You go out east and look, New Jersey's 8-1-0. 5-0-0 at home now. I would be shocked if New Jersey wins a cup this year. Their goaltending is not great. I talked about it last show. I think Jack Hughes is good. Speaking of Jack Hughes, he scored the second goal of this game. And that's the one that Trent Miner wants back. Look, it's Trent Miner. I'm pretty sure. I meant to look this up, but I didn't have time. I think Trent Miner was the goalie for the Eagles when Landeskog played for them late last year. He's an AHL guy, obviously. Played well in relief against the Hurricanes. Thought he played well today besides the Jack Hughes goal. Look, here's the thing about that. When it's, Altitude TV showed Jack Hughes' numbers today. His numbers are damn good in about 60 games played each of the last 2 seasons because he's gotten hurt each of the last 2 seasons. He needs to play a full season. And he's a lighter player. And if you check him, like Landeskog did early in this game, you can hurt him. So he needs to stay healthy. And he hasn't quite, like I said yesterday, it was like 3 years ago when I'm watching Jack Hughes and I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, I get it. Why he was the first overall pick and he was one of those like can't miss first overall picks. What a talent. Now, even though his numbers have been good when he's been healthy, I haven't quite seen that from him. But he's still, look, when it's Jack Hughes on the left wing and Trent Miner is more of an AHL guy, and now he's in the bright lights of the NHL, and you see a player like Jack Hughes, even though it was kind of a nothing shot from Jack Hughes, now he goes far side, but that should have been saved. A good NHL goaltender makes that either glove or pad save. They tighten that area up, that little hole right there. You can't help if you're a Trent Miner, but be like, uh-oh, it's Jack Hughes. That might have been some of what happened there. And Trent just kind of gets in his own head, and he lets a leaky one in. The first goal from this KHL dude, pour one out for the KHL. I can't bet on it anymore because of that war. But who's this guy who scores? He had a couple moments in this game. Arseny Gritsyuk. I mean, skate to blade. JML did a good job in the intermission of breaking this goal down. When you go skate to blade and it's real quick, bam, top shelf. That's going in on Wedgwood. That's going in on Blackwood. Obviously, a winning on Trent Miner. And then the breakaway, which I talked about earlier, that was a good play too. That was tough to save. And the Jack Hughes one you want back. You want back. But Trent Miner gets the point. I'd say all in all, in his, a game and 2/3 plus that he's played this week, it was good. For your third string goalie, it was good. And now we'll see, because, all right, you get the Devils again. You get the Devils on Tuesday at home. This will be one of the Woods. This will be one of the Woods going up against their former team. Both the Woods are former Devils. Which Wood will it be? Which Wood would Woodchuck chuck if Woodchuck could chuck Wood? Which Wood will it be? I don't know. Dominic in the chat says, any Blackwood updates? All I know is he didn't make the trip. But it seems like he's close. It could be McKenzie on Tuesday night. That'd be, if he's ready, I think that's I don't even want to call it a spark, but it would be a mental lift to have Mackenzie Blackwood back and behind these skaters on home ice too. I think that would, I'll say it, spark this team. Not that I thought they played well today. I mean, they played well considering the tired legs. It's actually very impressive. I think Mosier and Rycroft were spot on late in this game. Shout out to the training staff. Having these guys ready. They did not look tired late in this game. So that's a win. If you're looking for, whatever you want to call them wins, that was a win. That's good fight. That was good fight from this team today. I'd love to see Blackwood against the Devils. Jake Allen, Nico Dawes. There might be a goaltender hurt for them. Can't remember this dude's name. They're all younger guys, except for Jake Allen, who's like a journeyman vet at this point. Let me look at their injury reports. But they are going to rue giving up on Mackenzie Blackwood. And I cannot wait to see Mackenzie back with this team. Maybe not. Maybe not. Wow, that is a weak goaltending room that the Devils have. And Blackwood's close. Whether he plays on Tuesday or not, he's close. So I can't wait to see him back. And that's what's next for the Avs. We got 15 minutes until the Broncos game. We got 15 minutes until the Broncos kick off against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to do my damnedest to get you guys 15 more minutes of this. Whatever word salad I have to spew. We can talk Avs, Devils. Let me know in the chat. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. If you want to talk Broncos, Cowboys, we can do that too. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Okay, thank you, Michael. For some reason, my injury report was not reflecting his name. Jacob Markstrom is going to be back. Okay, there we go. There we go. He's a solid veteran goaltender. Darcy Kemper-esque. Kemper's a little better than Markstrom, I've always felt like. That's not good enough. Jacob Markstrom's not good enough. Mackenzie Blackwood has become a better goaltender than any of these names that we've mentioned. Any of these names. All right, Ben Y in the chat. You want to talk more Val Nichushkin? I'll talk more Val Nichushkin. I fucking love this player. I have been saying this for years. He is so good. He does not get the respect and the credit that he deserves. Obviously, the off the ice stuff. But shoot, you see him, man, remember when the Avs wore Rams sweaters? And everybody freaked out. But you want to know what I love to see in that photo? I'd love to see Val on a knee enjoying time with his teammates, with the boys. And hey, the Avs gave the Broncos some Nordique sweaters. The love goes round. Rams are in the NFC West. It's fine. Who cares? That division. I know that like every team coming in today in the NFC West was 5-2. I hate all those teams. Like, not that it's not personal. I just think they all suck. Even the Rams. Something's wrong with the Rams. I don't know. Like they're good on paper, but like blowing that Eagles game. There's another. I can't remember their other loss, but I remember being like, "Geez, Rams, it's fine." Yeah, Val's great. He's at worst their third best skater. I know everyone's in love with Marty Necas, and I get it. I said it when Mikko Rantanen was here. There were many, many times where I would say, dude, Val's their second best player. And I know Necas is great, but Val's their second best player. He's so good. He's a beast. Like, that's the thing. Like, Necas is great, but he's a little light. I mentioned this with Jack Hughes, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Val's not light. I mean, that dude is north south. Get the fuck out of my way. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm going to beat you over with an elbow and a shoulder. I'm going to hold you off. I'm going to bully you net front. I've also got some skill to me. Just over $6 million? What a steal. What a steal. And he gets over. I think people will hold his off-ice stuff against him. And because Necas is due to make like $11 million, Val just doesn't get the love. He's great. Yeah, I love that player. And that's why I was cool putting Landeskog down on the third line because Nichushkin's carrying that line. It's helping Brock Nelson. Help Brock Nelson today. All right, Broncos, Cowboys. Broncos, Cowboys. Javonte Williams versus J.K. Dobbins. Is that not this game? That's the game. Could the Broncos commit to the run game? You drafted R.J. Harvey for a reason. Oh, my gosh. You passed on Cam Scatterbo. Which I get. Like, me personally, I love Cam Scatterbo in the pre-draft process. If I was George Payton, which I'm obviously not, but if I was, and I know Sean Payton is making all these decisions, I would have told Sean to shut the fuck up. We're taking Cam Scatterbo. See what happened to Cam today? I have no ill will. I know that the Broncos and Giants had that little thing. What? Who cares? They're in the NFC East. They're a young team. They're fight. Dude, Scatterbo is awesome. He's so much fun. His poor ankle. Oh my gosh. And I built like both my fantasy teams. I took Scatterbo and I did it with intention. And so I'm done. I'm dead in fantasy football now. Cam Scatterbo is a great running back. RJ Harvey's had moments too. It hasn't been Scatterbo, but he's had moments. Give RJ Harvey the ball. I had that little dump off past him in the corner of the end zone. He got a little more involved late last week. And in the passing game, as I kind of anticipated, knowing how Sean Payton has used his Darren Sproles of the world, likes to get RJ Harvey's a smaller, he's got the huge quads, he's built, but he's in stature wise, he's more of a speed guy. I'm not surprised that it's been more Harvey in the passing game. Hey, give him the ball. Give him the ball. You drafted him as running back for a reason. But Dobbins and Javonte Williams, numbers are pretty identical. Javonte's been a little better. It's kind of surprising. Like Javonte Williams coming off of the ACL did feel like maybe the step was gone. Not that he was ever a burner, but he was definitely an angry runner. Kyle Brandt knows. Now here we are, like about 2 years later, and Broncos give up on Javonte, but lo and behold, that knee looks good. But guess what? So does J.K. Dobbins. He had a torn ACL earlier in his career as well, and now he looks great. It's kind of a wash. But you got to give Dobbins the ball. I gotta say, if the Broncos can establish a run game today against a weak Cowboys defense, And it's quite simple. If J.K. Dobbins has a better game than Javonte Williams, and it's an easier path for J.K. than Javonte, Broncos defense is stout. That D-line is stout. I know everyone's shitting on Singleton and Sternad. No Dre Greenlaw today. He was suspended, which was garbage because the officiating on that final drive was terrible. Like, Dre Greenlaw has every right to chew you out at that point. You eat that. But no, they got to suspend him. Fine. It's going to be tougher for Javonte to run on this Broncos defense than it is for JK to run on the Cowboys defense, but you got to hand him the ball. Got to hand him the ball. This should be one of those games. Hopefully Sean Payton can swallow his pride a little bit and run the football. And that will open up your passing game that has struggled. Except when you needed it. When you were down 19-0 and 26-8, and then the Giants start dropping 8. And actually, the Broncos did start running the ball late in that game. Of all the times to start running the ball was when they were down big in the 4th. And it worked. It's amazing how running the ball can help open up the pass game. So the Broncos can establish that from the start today. I like them. And they're not... See, they won last year in those throwback jerseys. They're so clean. The Avs are going to wear their Nordiques 7 times this season. So, okay, they're 0-1 in theirs. They got a point in theirs. You can't lose in those Nordiques jerseys. They're too fresh. You can't lose in these. I guess you can lose after regulation. That's what the Avs do. You can't lose in these orange and blue Ds. They're too fresh. Too fresh. But this will be interesting because that Cowboys offense is good. This ain't the Jets offense. This ain't Jackson Dart, who's a tick overrated. And I do love Scattaboo, but this ain't the Giants offense. This is different. But it is always very possible that the Cowboys would be like, if only we had a pass rusher. If only we had an elite pass rusher. Where do we get one of those? I think the Cowboys called. I saw a report today. We'd seen rumors that maybe they'd inquire about Max Crosby. And I saw a report today that they did. They also inquired with the Bengals about Trey Hendrickson. But the Bengals, they're staying afloat for Joe Burrow. They are going to send the Jets to 0-8 if that game isn't already over. I think it is over. Is that game? Yep, it is. No, the Jets came back and won. Holy shit. I have been paying attention. Holy Aaron Glenn. Oh, Joe Flacco. No, what happened? Never mind. Well, maybe the Cowboys could trade for Trey Hendrickson. What happened? Oh, Cincinnati. You let the Jets put up 39 on you without Garrett Wilson. Oh, no. Looks like the Jets just had 3 straight touchdown drives in the 4th quarter. Trey Hendrickson played in this game, right? Let me look at the box score. Yeah, he did. Oh, Bengals defense, what are you doing? Okay, Christian in the chat says that Trey Hendrickson left this game with a hip injury. Ooh. But yeah, the Cowboys are in. They're looking for pass rush help. If only they had one of those. If only they had one of those. You gotta make Jerry Jones pay. You gotta make Jerry Jones pay today. Jerry Jones is losing his damn mind. He can't tell his hand to give a thumbs up. When his brain says thumbs up, instead, it does this. He's losing his damn mind. You cannot let Jerry Jones and Brian Schottenheimer beat you. Greg Penn or Sean Payton must beat Jerry Jones, Brian Schottenheimer. You're at home. And then the Broncos will play the Texans. Texans got the win today, I believe. I mean, I don't know. Let me double check this. They should have. Because I have not been paying attention since the Avs game ended. Yeah, Texans won. So you're going to go to Houston. You're going to play a good defense. That's a tough one. That's going to be tough on the road. So get yourself to 6-2 here today and give yourself a little bit of leeway, a little bit of breathing room for what's a coin flip matchup next week. All right, we got 3 more minutes until Broncos kickoff. We'll go back to the Avs here. Avs lose 4-3 in overtime. 0-4 after regulation this season. Jack Hughes scores twice. He gets the game-winning goal. That game-winning goal goes off of Cale Makar's blade, too. Trent Miner doesn't have a chance after the Natchez turnover. Avs just don't look like they know what they're doing in 3-on-3 with their cycles, with their circles. They're forcing pucks. Definitely frustrating. Definitely frustrating. Because, I mean, that's, the 0-4, that's, those are points they're leaving on the board. Utah leads this division right now, this conference. Although the Avs, I believe, did tie them, but Utah has at least 1 game in hand. Let me pull up the standings. Yeah, Utah has a game in hand. So Utah, even though the Avs and Mammoth both have 14 points, Utah's won 6 straight. They've only played 9 games. Utah's leading everything right now, but the Avs are back home. Play the Devils on Tuesday night. We will see if Mackenzie Blackwood is in net. Then what's next for Colorado? Let me pull up the schedule here. At Vegas on Halloween. I wonder if this is Nevada Day because it's a Friday, and I've noticed since the Knights became a thing, I didn't know Nevada Day was a thing until the Knights came into our existence. And like on a Friday early in the season, the Knights always play this like 2 p.m. game. It's like Canada Day, and the Blue Jays always play a day game on Canada Day. Well, apparently Nevada has Nevada Day. Let me Google. When is Nevada Day 2025? When is Nevada Day? Yep, it is this Friday. So this Friday is not only Halloween, it's Nevada Day. Give it up for Nevada. The OG home of legalized sports betting. The de facto home of Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, Jonte Porter, and Damon Jones, and maybe allegedly Kevin Garnett, and possibly others. Probably others. Give it up for Nevada Day. But the Avs will have Wednesday and Thursday off before they go to Vegas. Gotta think Blackwood's back. If Blackwood's not back on Tuesday against his former team, the Devils, it's a back-to-back. It's at Vegas on Nevada Day on Friday and Halloween. And then they're at San Jose, another one of Mackenzie Blackwood's former teams, on Saturday. So that's a back-to-back. Friday, Saturday. I think Trent Miner's down with the Eagles. I think Blackwood, if he's not starting Tuesday, and he very well might start Tuesday, he's starting in Vegas or in San Jose. And Wedgwood will start the other one. All right, it's 2:25. I did it, folks. All by myself. Thanks for tuning in to Between the Pipes. Let's go watch the Broncos and the Cowboys. Raj and I will be with you Tuesday night after Avs Devils. 5-1-4. What a record. Who had 5-1-4 to start the season? If you did, hit up Chauncey Billups. Let's go Broncos. Talk to you Tuesday night.